I made 100 cheesesteaks over the course of 6 months to try and find the best cheesesteak recipe that I could find. And I found it. It's this one. Let's show you how I made it. No one knows really what makes a real Philly cheesesteak. So I'm just gonna do what I think actually makes a real Philly cheesesteak, and that is including cheese whiz and onion. So we're making a classic whiz wit, and then we're gonna test that out and see how it is. Oh look, they look pretty. That's a pretty good sandwich. Don't know if I'm a big fan of the cheese whiz. It tastes a little too processed for me. The steak, I think, was delicious. It's perfectly thin. I feel like there's a little bit too much bread. And granted, I don't have the good bread. That's on its way. I ordered some from Philadelphia, Amoroso. It's a pretty good, but there's definite room for improvement. It looks good.
I thought it was really good. I think it needs more crunch, either more onions or more peppers.
I agree. Maybe the diced onions wasn't a good call. Maybe we need to make them like slivers, or peppers would be good too. Fajita style. People from Philly are gonna rake us over the coals for saying we want peppers on our cheesesteaks. We are going to completely deconstruct the entire cheesesteak, and we're going to start from each individual ingredient and see which one is the best, and then we're going to move on from there. So we're going to start here with meat. I have 5 different types here. We got ribeye, hamburger, flank steak, top round, and skirt steak. And we're going to try each of these, make a cheesesteak out of them. I'm going to give each of them a bite, give them a try, see how the texture is, see how it feels. We think we have a clear winner. Surprisingly, last place was hamburger. Garbage, don't do that. Top round was okay, but the winner was that skirt steak, huh, Mike? That skirt steak, it tasted so good. It was so tender. Imagining that with a bunch of cheese, that's gonna be delicious.
Cheese.
Guess what day it is, Mike? Guess what day?
Cheese day.
It's cheese day. Are you lactose intolerant?
Better believe it, but that's not gonna stop me.
We're not gonna stop. We're gonna block you up for weeks today, Mike. We have 10 types of cheeses here, and we're going to figure out which cheese is best to go on the cheesesteaks that you make at home. Starting here, we got Gouda, Havarti, Munster, Pepper Jack, Swiss, Asiago, Mozzarella, American, Cheese Whiz, and Provolone. I didn't look over there. There's not a little helper for me over there? I said don't. I said... Dude, which cheese do you think is gonna be the best cheese, Mike?
Pepper Jack.
Pepper Jack? Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I was taking all of them out, that orange one, what's this orange one? Gouda. That one smelled like the way that Cheese Whiz does, but like better. So I think that's gonna be my guess. My guess is Gouda. It's gonna be really Gouda on cheesesteaks.
I crossed my mind. Either the Gouda or the Cheese Whiz.
Do you think the Cheese Whiz?
I love Cheese Whiz.
We have a bunch of skirt steak, a bunch of I'm never gonna be able to say skirt steak ever in my life. So last time you saw that we decided that skirt steak was the best one. That was like almost a month ago for us. But, so let's make a bunch of cheesesteaks with skirt steak with a bunch of cheese on it, see which one's best. This is the Gouda. Okay, this one is Munster. A lot of people think that Pepper Jack would be a good one in my test, in my questions around the office, so let's try it out. This is Swiss. That one's pretty good. Asiago. Nope. Nope. Okay, mozzarella. If they're not doing Cheese Whiz, they're doing provolone, so let's see how this one is. It's a dark horse, American's always good. Now let's just try the actual Cheese Whiz itself. Like the Cheese Whiz, it's too much. I mean, I was at the end of 10 sandwiches, so maybe that's why. But I think I would have to go Gouda. I think that one gives me it is a really nice mellow flavor, still gives you a lot of really good texture. It's like what I wanted the Cheese Whiz to be, but I think that is gonna be my winner. Pair that with a little provolone, got a little yellow-white action on there. I think that would be great. It's been a few months since we did the other cheesesteak testing. We came to, me and Mike, we talked and we came to a decision. We don't know if skirt steak was actually the right plan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to the store right now and I'm going to try and get him to slice us off some really thinly sliced ribeye. Maybe like 3 or 4 pounds worth. Would that work?
That work.
Awesome, thank you. The Butcher Cassidy, that's hilarious. I didn't even get that. He recommended the flat iron. He said the ribeye and the flat iron would be the best. We're gonna try it against what we thought was our best option, and which was the flank steak, and we're just gonna try out all 3. We're back. Don't look at my shirt. I have stains on it. Don't look at it. Well, it's not stains. They're water to clean the stains. Brings me to our next point. Even though this one has stains on it, we have some new merch coming. Oh, look, campchef pocket tee. Let's just give that a zoom in on, Mike. Ooh, see that? Shameless plug. It's kind of my job to do that. We're gonna have a meat off today. The final meat off, the decision. So we got this really thinly sliced ribeye that we're gonna try versus the skirt steak, and then Butcher Cassidy. He said to try flat iron for his cheesesteaks as well. Run it all off. We have this really thin sliced ribeye here. We have this thicker sliced ribeye here. We have our previous champion, some skirt steak, and then we have this one right here, this Butcher's recommendation from Butcher Cassidy, the flat iron. And then we have these Amoroso rolls flown in from Philly. Then we have our skirt steak. Here, Mike, you gotta come try it too.
Flavor's good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can have your butcher cut your meat for you like that, cut your ribeye into 1/8-inch pieces like that, that's the way to go. Ribeye wins. Now we're going to try a couple cheesesteaks with a couple different additives in there. We're going to try peppers. We're going to try onions. I know, Philadelphia, you don't like peppers, but man, are they tasty. Why'd you not want peppers, man? They're good. I love the flavor, but the one thing I really want from them is crunch. And I think throwing them on before, I don't think that was a call because they got too soft. I don't think I put enough onion in there. It makes it taste better. Yeah, you gotta have onions and peppers, man. If I have the crunch from the peppers, I don't think I need crunch from the onions. I want more flavor from onions. So I think throwing them on before, and then the peppers and the meat on after, I think that's the play. I think that's the play, Mike. This is the crescent onion. I'm getting more onion flavor. Don't know if that's because there's more onion in it. The texture of it is just kind of like melts. It's not like it doesn't add or take away from it. It's kind of like meh. So I think if I added more onions there and then add the peppers afterwards, that would be, I think that's the key. The last thing I wanted to try today was a Philly cheesesteak with Philly cream cheese. Because you're losing something if we're not going to use Cheese Whiz. We're losing some creaminess, and I wanted to throw some of this in there and see if that would work. With a little salt. If we thought that people of Philadelphia were going to be mad at us before, we really are going to piss them off with this one. So this is Philly cream cheese steak. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm doing. We're going to see if it's any good and see if it's the what we all want it to be. We might have found something here, Mark. Not even kidding. 1 day remains, Mike. So 6 months in the making to get these beautiful cheesesteaks, and we got a jam-packed one today. We are going to try out a few different weird cheesesteaks that I found online, a few extra toppings. First, let's just start by throwing a bunch of meat on the grill. Let's make 6 sandwiches right now. So we have the pizza one and the bacon one are all done, and bacon, pizza, mushroom all done. We just have to put on some ketchup because apparently we don't have any self-respect. No, if you like ketchup, then great. You lose, it overpowers everything else. So this next one, we're gonna put some pickles on. Let's see how it tastes. A similar issue. The pickles are good on the sandwich. It tastes good on the sandwich, but that's the overwhelming flavor that I get, Mike. All right, now we got the mushroom one. That one, pretty dang good. All right, now we have the bacon one. This makes me want a breakfast one with eggs, 100%. That's delicious. I'm pretty excited about this pizza cheesesteak one. I saw this one online and I was pretty excited to give it a try. So it's steak, mozzarella, pepperoni, and some marinara. That's delightful. This makes you wonder what could be possible in the cheesesteak world if people weren't so dang worried about what was on it. We've tried like 8 or 9 meats, 15-ish, 20-ish toppings. We've tried like 12 types of cheeses. We're going to finally get down to the point where we're talking about technique, and we're about 60-ish cheesesteaks that we've made so far. So what we're going to do now is we're going to finish off the rest of the 100 by making lunch for the crew, lunch for the office, and then I'm going to come back at the end of that and then give you my final cheesesteak recipe. It's been 100 cheesesteaks, almost 6 months of time have gone into this, and we are finally here at what I think in what has been my favorite cheesesteak that we've made yet. Let's show you how to make it.
First, turn your griddle to medium-high heat, put down some oil, and throw on the onions. Putting them on first allows them to soften and to caramelize, make them a little bit sweeter. Next, take your beautiful ribeye shaved to 1/8 inch and put that on, and season generously with salt, pepper, and garlic powder to taste. Then, make Philly want to send the famous boxer Rocky and a swarm of eagles after you by putting in some green peppers. And throw some mushrooms in there. Then, add in some cream cheese. I recommend about 1 ounce per sandwich. Lovingly place 2 slices of Gouda on top and let melt. Slide your spatula underneath the pile of deliciousness and slide it into an Amoroso roll or any hoagie roll you can find.
This is 6 months of work. Over 100 cheesesteaks made just to get this bad boy. I think we did it. I think we have some fun little things in there. Thank you for coming on along this journey with us. We made it. I'll have the recipe down in the comments below, I'll have it down in the description. That's where it's going to be. If you need anything else, campchef.com is your friend. If you want to watch another one of my videos, this one, boom, right here. You should give that one a watch. I was doing a lot of funny things and it was so funny. You should go see it. And I guess until next time, peace out.